Hey, Dr. Kimberly, it says we're live.
And we are really rolling today. Good afternoon. You are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave, and we are rolling all the way in Nigeria today. Hey,
Across the pond, as we like to say, or whoever
just
we are.
just a tad bit. Hey Rita, how are you today?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Well, we have been talking about developing your inner strength, and we had like 10. And last week, Chica added, I want to say a couple more. One was he really liked number one. So well, let's go over them. So number one, it was believe in yourself. Number two was never lie to yourself. Three was ignore others' ignorance. Number four, don't allow others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength. Live a balanced life. Encourage yourself by telling you what you do well. Find your tribe. Have someone to keep you accountable. Self care is not selfish. Look for a solution and not rehearse the problem. And our guest last week added on be patient with yourself and don't forget about your prayer life.
And Dr. Kimberly, who's a doctor, and every once in a while she reminds people, Rita, that I'm an attorney. So I'm simply going to sound like an attorney. Folks, every one of those are copyrighted by Dr. Kimberly. So don't go taking them and putting them in a book because Dr. Kimberly's going to do that. So, and the collaboration here. So you're going to see by Dr. Kimberly Barrington. So copyrighted. And enough said about the legal mumbo jumbo.
And
Rita,
so,
Rita, Rita.
so today, Rita chose to expound upon number four don't allow others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength. So, why did you choose that one?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I am Rita Ofili. I'm the first wheelchair model in Nigeria, an advocate of persons with disability, and a reigning queen as Miss Wheelchair World in Nigeria. I chose the topic not allowing ignorance to penetrate your strength because as a persons with disability, we have natural strength. But why I chose it because there are things we can do, but people are ignorantly looking at the disability instead of looking at you as a human being, looking at you as someone who can add a plus to the economy politically and help culture and help families and help the nation as well. But in as much as you're persons with disability, automatically, ignorantly, people diminishes your strength. So that is why I chose that. And if I say, what is ignorance? Ignorance, these two words, ignorance and strength, are two vital points in this. What is your strength? What is strength? Strength is a substance that helps you to overcome some force. And why ignorance is lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, unaware, uneducated. And most people are ignorant because of ego. Some people have ego, and some people feel if you have disability, if you have some illness, if you are confined in a wheelchair, if you have some problem or issue about life, you are not human. Ignorantly, oh, you can do this, you can do that. And there are different types of ignorance. There is factual ignorance, there is object ignorance, and there is technical ignorance. Factual ignorance is that people are not aware, they don't know. Then you talk about the objects, they still unaware of how these things work. Then you now talk about the objects. Objects is that they are not educated, they fail, even when they know, they fail to understand. All they see is disability, all they see is the wheelchair, All they see, you can't participate. You can't do it. All they see that you are just less than a human. So ignorance, if I had followed what people have said to me ignorantly, I don't think I'll be where I am today. You see, that strength is supernatural. And when you get to understand yourself, recognize the fact that you have an ability, you have an understanding, the spiritual being, which is God, helps you to fine tune you to know your strength. And you have to hold on your strength, because so many times I want to do something or say, oh, you have a charity organization and you are disabled. Who do you want to help? Why don't you help yourself? And I tell them, over time, my mind has been harnessed. I know myself better. The strength in me has grown strong. That is how I know that I've learned. God Himself has equipped me, and I'm able to nurture my strength and develop my strength. And that's what led me to own an organization to teach other people to say the mind is an intense object that helps you to overcome ignorance.
So Rita, quick question. Do you speak in a native Nigerian language?
Oh, if I speak in Nigerian languages,
What language is like your primary language other than English?
okay, in my language, yeah, we have three universal language that is well recognized in Nigeria. But English is a universal language that we use all over. A common person in Nigeria understands Pidgin. They understand Pidgin. The word Pidgin, which you speak, is like a local dialect that everybody can understand. That's Pidgin. Then English is more of a universal language. But if you go to the rural area of some places, we speak Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa. So we have three cognitive languages that we speak in Nigeria that is very, very universal. So if you want to talk to the elites, which is English, if you want to talk to people that are not really, the elite, well educated, you use Pidgin that everybody could understand. Then you come to the locality of the language where you localize the language. Yes.
All right. And the reason I ask that is because I really like languages, and I love honoring languages and the beauty of what words really mean and their roots. And so when I was looking down, I wasn't checking the baseball scores. I was looking up the word ignorant in the English dictionary, and ignorant means, and it comes from actually the Greek gnosis or gnosis, but it means not knowing. And when I read that, though, the ignorance I think that you and Dr. Kimberly are talking about is not that people don't know, it's worse. It's people think they know. It's not, I don't know what's best for you. That's a good ignorance. I don't know, so I'm going to ask. Instead, I think I know, so I don't even have to ask you. I'm going to tell you what's good for you two women in wheelchairs. I think I know. We got to invent a new word, Dr. Kimberly, in English.
Most definitely. And, I just had it last week where someone says, well, their ignorance becomes, you just want to be so independent. And it's not about being independent. It's about, I know what it is that I need. I'm brave enough to ask, for help when I need it. But right now, I don't need your assistance. I don't need your help. And we want to say hello to Sheila Curry. And it says, love Nigerians, been missing. Hey, how's it going, Rachel? Thank you so much for tuning in today. And we are all the way in Nigeria today. I'm so excited with Rita. Rita is a force to be reckoned with. And I love the way you started out with the definition. The first part of the definition is that you equate, ignorance with being uneducated. You're not educated. Now, I think the other part of that ignorance, because of your not being educated, there are things that you may say or do out of ignorance. Then it becomes an action.
And again, that action is often building barriers.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I have a question. So I know that in the United States, we have a plethora of, assist helps. Dave is at the Center for Independent Living. Do you have like a Center for Independent Living or a disability network in Nigeria where you live?
Pardon, please, can you come again? Refresh the question again.
Where you live, do you have a disability network or a place that you can go to,
Okay,
or
okay,
like, or a
okay.
Center
In
for Independent
Nigeria,
Living? Hmm.
in Nigeria, we have so many disability network, but it seems not to be working. Reason being that there are laws here and there, right and there, but there are no implementation. There is no law guiding saying if you do this, you would get a consequence, or you would be found doing this against persons with disability. So for me, it's more or less like we do not have law, because law exists when there is implementation. That's what I would say. So basically, individually, NGO seems to be more better than the government taking proper role, saying we have a law guiding people with disability, or we care for people with disability in Nigeria.
So there are a number of NGOs that help people with disabilities.
We we have too many NGOs in Nigeria, and I'll be honest to say that when you say NGO, for me, it's going to be a selfless art. But in this country, many people own NGO, and it's just about personal interest. You're going to find very few who are really devoted and saying, we are working for people with disability, or we care from them from the intent of the heart, not because you want to make money, or not because you want to do this, you want to do that. So you need to be selfless when you say you want to do non-governmental organization serving humanity.
And for our American listeners, an NGO stands for non-government organization, and we usually call those entities nonprofits. So, but in the outside of the United States, the references to NGOs or non-government organizations. So, just to be clear, so we don't create ignorance.
No, we never want to do that. And so, what I hear you saying is that there is a disparity in that area. Is that something that you have tried to cultivate?
Could you come again, please?
Mhm. Have you tried to cultivate an environment that is assisting, and do you have those that are working alongside you?
Oh, okay, yes. Coming to in Nigeria as the persons are with disability, we seems not to be included in social activities, and this is where ignorance plays a huge role. Where people say you can't do this, you can't participate in social entrepreneur, social social activities in terms of fashion. The fashion industry says no to persons with disability, and I started up as a model as persons with disability to say people with disability, we exist, we can be brand ambassador. I am beautiful if I can wear clothing. After all, I'm not naked. I put on clothes. Who made the clothes? Someone designed it. So you see, I can participate. If I can patronize clothing lines, designers, why can't I be used as a model? So I start showing up unapologetically. And sometimes I get like, are you a model? I go for audition. Are you a model? Sorry, disability cancer. I said, sorry, it's cancer. Why don't you give it a try? Have you tried it? If I were to be your sister, your brother, or your wife, or your mom, would you tell me I'm not accepted? I should be accepted. My strength says I'm a model. My strength says I'm beautiful. My strength says show up unapologetically. And you are ignorantly telling me that your brand do not sell disability. Your brand do not do this. Your brand do not do that. But come on, I exist. So I stepped pressing forward, and that was how I stepped participating in modeling industry. Start showing up. I start bringing other people because in my NGO, Efataho Foundation, we show up saying I come as an activist. I come as an advocate for persons with disabilities, saying I have people who can model your product. I have people who can do this for you. I can do that. And they say, okay. Then come to entertainment industry. We don't even have 2% of persons with disabilities showing up in entertainment. They say, oh, a wheelchair person, you can act movie, you can't be patronized, you can't sell the product. And I tell them, what is the sale? Like, yeah, as a model, I'm a sales representative to sell your product. To be a model, that's what it should be. Forget if I sat down on my wheelchair, but then I'm a human, I can sell your product. The maximum thing is that I sell your product and it sells and people buy and people see it and they'll come to buy. Give me evidence or give me benefit of doubt for me to sell your product, for you to know that I can represent your brand. So it's just about adopting inclusivity in Nigeria. They just have to adopt inclusivity. We're trying, we're fighting very hard to it. That's what we do in my organization. Some people work with me. I have some management, I have NGO, and I have people working. So we keep talking. Another thing is awareness. We sensitize the society. We are speaking, we are talking, we are educating them. And even when you say no, I say no, this is yes. And we keep debating it. Then sometimes I put up my own show, put up my program so that people will get to see. I go to studio, do shooting, snap pictures. Oh, you're looking beautiful, but I don't think you can sell. You see, it still boils down on the ignorance. Factual ignorance, object ignorance, and technical ignorance began to play a role here. And there are ways we can overcome these things, which is sensitization, educating them, talking out loud, telling them this is it and this is not. And there's this misinterpretation that if you are visual impaired, there is no hope in Nigeria. If you are deaf, like a mute person, if you are physically disability, and they still feel and they are ignorant to recognize that there are disabilities that are not seen, visible, invisible. There are people that they can walk with their legs and move their body, but they have internal illness, which is disability that is not recognized. And people are yet to know about it and all that. So honestly, the ignorance is what is actually hitting us in Nigeria because they are not aware. And even when they know, they seem not to believe because things have been moving on in a very narrow way, and they still believe that that is how it's being done culturally, and that is how they accept it, instead of them to know that it does not exist the way they think it is, and it can be changed. So it takes over time for us, and we still keep talking, just like the way Dr. Kimberly and Dave, you people are here, you invited me, you want to hear what's going on in Nigeria. You've actually come to embrace me for us to speak up and say, okay, inclusivity should reign in Nigeria. Okay, Rita Ofili is here in Nigeria, she's speaking from Nigeria. So overall, over time, we have come together to sensitize the world, not just Nigeria. You are in America, I'm in Nigeria. So basically, people are connected from different places, either Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, so they could hear us talking about that. Inclusivity has to reign. So it's not just Nigeria, it's not just America, all over the world, because disability is not going to stop today. It still exists. As we're talking, there are people born with disability. As we're talking, there are people who have encountered an accident. As we're talking, there are people who just suddenly their body system shuts down. Disability is just there. But we need to keep talking. We need to keep being a mentor, being a mirror for other people who ever come to this journey of life could say, okay, if these people actually existed, that means I can exist, I can survive. That's it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to tell you that you are now tuned in to Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. We are live with Rita, who is in Nigeria. We are so excited. And for the past few weeks, we have been talking about developing your inner strength. And I want to say show 3, we came up with 10 points. And Rita today is talking about point number 4 is about don't allow others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength. I want to say thank you so much to Donna Walton, who is in Washington, D.C., who is just following the conversation very, very closely. And she is the founder and executive director of Divas with Disabilities. And she is all about showing up, unapologetically. And I am so excited. Donna, will you please put in the chat your magazine that has come out so that people know where they can get that? Thank you so much. But you really gave us a lot to chew on today. A lot, a lot, a lot. I love the way that you have expounded upon, number 4 and the way that you experience it. And I think that most of us will say um, that people needing to be educated. And Dave, I agree, is once you've been educated, it's not up to you to be the one to implement it. It's like, okay, well, and it's with that, I think that I know how this needs to be done. And so this is how we're going to do that.
Yep.
And, since I've been back out here having to Uber, I think that's been really interesting on how they think I should be able to get in and out of, their car. Well, it needs to be done like this. And you get I said, no, this is year 10 for me. I know exactly how this works, but no, see, you gotta, get in this, sir, I got this. All I need you to do, put my wheelchair in your trunk. And I think it's interesting because they only get so much time to interact with you, to get in and to get you out. And so Uber will send a message, is everything okay? You seem to be spending extra time with the passenger. And she comes out and she says it loud. So I just thought that was interesting on one of my rides because they were trying to ignorantly tell me how to get in and out of my wheelchair to get into their car.
Yeah, people think they know so much.
Okay, so here it is. There's the link, and it's https :// tiny URL tinurl.com / resilience mag 1. And I'm gonna go now in the comment section, copy and paste, and it'll be available on, let's see. Did you snag it, Dave? You got it already?
I did, but for some reason it doesn't let me through. It says has a strict no abuse policy, but it won't let me through for some reason.
You hear that, Donna? We want to say hey to Heather Kitson, Elena Cross, who are watching with us on today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And you are watching Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. And we are talking to Rita, who is in Nigeria. So we are going live. And we're having just a little bit probably lag because it is 9. Well, what time is it here? It is 4:30 here. It is 9:30 over in Nigeria right now. At night, right, Rita?
Can I talk?
Yes.
Okay, I have one more insight of what ignorance looks like. There are sensitivities and insensitivities words. There are words that are very sensitive. There are words that are not sensitive. But the entertainment industry seems to use sensitive words ignorantly in form of comedy in form of joke, and they say some certain things. Like in Nigeria, for example, this is my country, so I'm going to be using insight of what it is. A comedian comes, and maybe I went for a show and I'm seated. He just come trying to mimic, someone on a wheelchair, or trying to mimic somebody that is, stammering, like has some stutter, or trying to do some certain things that are not okay. Like he could start wheeling like me, or he could just, boggle his legs and walk somehow. For me, it's really, really very sensitive for you to use some certain language, because you want to entertain your audience, and you use some certain words to diminish people with disabilities. Because in my community, there are people who works that way. So when I was in that event, I really felt bad. Why is he mimicking me? And why is he stuttering? I was like, why is he doing this? If someone who has some stutter was there, the person is going to be upset. Then you come to church, pastors in Nigeria, and the moment they see, do you want to get up? Do you want to receive your miracle? Get up from the wheelchair. You don't want to walk. You don't have faith. And they say, let's give God the glory. Let's bless God. Some people are in the hospital, but you're not in the hospital. Some people are working, but you're not working. Some people can't walk, but you are walking. Some people can't see, but you're seeing. Those words is ought not to be spoken. That is ignorant. That is highest of it, diminishing a fellow human because you want to preach the word of God. That's not what the Bible says. It is not biblical. So I believe it's ignorance, because if you're a man of God, you should be able to know sensitive words and insensitive words. Do I have faith? Yeah. Was it in my making to be disabled? No. So why should you use me to mimic me? Why should you do that? Do you understand? So these things are very, very, it's ignorance. Technically, factually, object. It is ignorance. So sometimes I don't want to go to church. I go to church, they just want to pray. If you're walking on your leg, jump. If you're not working, you don't see some certain things. Ignorantly, there are words that is not ought to be uttered. Because we are one, disability or non-disability, we are one in the sight of God. So ignorantly, so many things happen, so many things. And ignorantly, I'm dating, I'm in a relationship, and the guy said, I love you, but I don't know if you can cook. I don't know if you can take care of the house. I don't know if you can do the house chores. I said, this is ignorance. Give me a try. I'm a person with disabilities. There are different ways I manage myself. Do I sweep? Yeah. Yeah. And some people just, ignorantly, they misinterpret or have this misconception. Are you sure you can be pregnant? Are you sure you can be active, sexual active? Are you sure you can do this? Are you sure you can do that? I said, try to know. Let me educate you. Let me teach you. Let me tell you. And even when you are talking to them, they still have this thing. What are you talking about? Oh, no. You can't conceive. You can't do that. So ignorance is really, really, I say no, I do not allow it. I know what I want. I know who I am. And how was I able to, build these things over time? Because my parents taught me. They said the only thing that will be on your way, that will be a stumbling block, it is you. You being you. You say you can't do this. You say you can't do that. Automatically, you failed. But if you recognize the strength inside of you, you do not allow ignorance to penetrate to say you can't do that. So over time, people say, oh, you can't go to school because this place is rough. You can't belong here. My parents say, go there. If you're going to fall 10 times, fall and get up and be you. And over time, this has helped to develop my strength. This has helped to build me a strong woman. I say, you don't say no to me. Give me a try. If you don't want to give me, I force my way through. I think they say, oh, sorry, so you can do it. I say, yes. So when you have that strength, which is God-given, your parents, which is first, because before you realize you have God, you have grown and you're being taught. But your parents, your siblings, they are the first people who actually helped me to build my strength, my courage. Then I became aware. I read more. I understood more. Then the word of God helped me and strengthened me. This is when I know myself, recognize myself 100%, and I refuse to allow ignorance to penetrate my strength. And I am mindful. My mind is harnessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And you are rolling on the road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. And Rita is all the way in Nigeria. And she's expounding upon our point number 4, which was not allowing others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength. And we definitely got to give a shout out to Shayna, who is in Bel Air, Maryland. And she is someone who's in a wheelchair. And I'm telling you, if I could have the two of you in the same room together, it'd be, ooh.
Yes, amen. Well, Dr. Kimberly and Rita, as I forewarned you before we went on air, unfortunately today I have to leave early. So I'm going to keep saying awesome stuff. Let's keeping other people's ignorance away. Keep people who think they know better. Ask, as Shayna said, let me try. Let's work it out. But I need to lead my own life rooted in that inner strength. So keep rocking it. Keep talking. We'll talk to you soon, Dr. Kimberly. Rita, have fun in Nigeria.
See, Dave. So I was on mute. So Rita has been expounding upon point number 4 that we've come up with was not allowing others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength. And you just did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal. 2 thumbs up. I don't think that my voice is going to hold up much longer, but you did an excellent job. You gave us some great points, and you even added more context to the ignorance. And I believe you said they can be ignorant by not being educated. You said education, and there were 2 others. About being ignorant. You didn't hear me?
Pardon?
I said you were talking about the different types of ignorance. The different types of
Yes.
ignorance.
Factual ignorance, object ignorance, and technical ignorance.
I love it. I love it. So we want to say, let's see. What did she say? Not allowing others. No, it's not allowing others' ignorance to penetrate your inner strength, Rachel, is what it was. And I want to say thank you so much to Rachel Merritt for being our administrative assistant and typing and putting all the captions on. Thank you for captioning. We definitely appreciate that. And unfortunately, I can't talk any louder, for you. And I'm losing my voice. I want to say thank you so much for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate. And
Absolutely.
I remember Rita, hopefully follow me on my social media handle. Follow me on Facebook. I need more followers on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Yeah.
We got you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.